Welcome back to Whispers of Turkish Stars. I'm thrilled you're here today, because we're about to untangle one of those irresistible mysteries that keeps timelines buzzing and group chats on fire. The topic everyone's whispering about is a secret connected to a brand new series led by Yağmur Yüksel, and the rumor that her co-star could be none other than Barış Baktaş. Yes, that Barış and that Yağmur. After the frenzy and affection fans poured on their past success, the possibility of seeing them share the screen again is enough to make the fandom lose sleep. But here's the twist that's turning excitement into full-blown obsession: talk of a hidden move from Barış that could turn this potential reunion into something much bigger than a simple on-screen comeback. If you adore following these two and love staying ahead of the curve, you're in exactly the right place. Settle in, grab your favorite treat, and before we start pulling on all the threads, do the smart thing and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a heartbeat of what's unfolding. Now, let's head straight into the heart of the story. The noise that set off 1,000 theories goes like this: Yağmur is reportedly closing in on a lead role in a new drama, and the strongest whispers say the male lead next to her could be Barış. Imagine the rush those words triggered. Their screen chemistry still lives rent-free in countless edits and fan compilations, and the nostalgia is powerful. Every glimmer of a reunion becomes a small event in itself, and this one already feels huge. But it isn't the reunion alone that has people leaning in. The conversation took a sharper turn when insiders began hinting that Barış's involvement might reach far beyond showing up on set, hitting his marks, and delivering lines. What started like a sweet, familiar fantasy of their romance rekindled for the cameras has evolved into a far more intricate picture. Leaks from those hovering around the production suggest the so-called secret is not about a surprise twist in his character arc. Instead, it points to Barış stepping behind the scenes in a meaningful way. Stories surfaced that he's been exploring directing for some time, even shadowing directors between shoots. Others insist he's been brainstorming story beats and could be helping shape the narrative, maybe even sharing screenplay duties or guiding revisions. Then there's the boldest theory of the lot, that he could be making an investment or joining the project as an executive producer, giving him real creative leverage. Think about that for a second. If Barış truly has a hand in steering this ship, we're not just looking at a pleasant reunion for old time's sake. We could be walking into a project with a signature, a series stamped by his sensibility and ambition. In that scenario, the show might lean into bolder choices, embrace layered characters, and dare to play with tone and structure. Suddenly, this isn't only about two beloved leads returning. It becomes a case study in what happens when a star decides to build the world he's acting in rather than simply inhabit it. These whispers didn't appear from nowhere. A few weeks back, talk began swirling that Yağmur was in advanced discussions for a lead role, and several heavyweight companies were eager to lock her in. The moment Barış's name slipped into those sentences, the mood shifted. At first, the chatter was simple, just a chorus of delighted fans dreaming of another slow-burn romance and longing glances. But the information kept evolving. Posts popped up claiming he'd been spotted not on a set, but in offices and cozy meeting rooms, late into the evenings, notebook and laptop in hand, leaving with a look that said he'd been buried in creative work. That detail alone kicked the speculation into overdrive. Paparazzi photographs poured fuel on the fire. Shots showed Barış heading into a building where two known producers keep their headquarters, and leaving, hours later, with a script-sized folder tucked under his arm. A different day, he was photographed in a cafe corner table with two writers who previously collaborated with him and Yağmur on smaller, experimental pieces. Their social media didn't spell anything out, but it didn't exactly cool things down either. They posted cryptic lines about a dream team coming together and a project that would surprise even the most jaded viewers. Nothing definite, everything suggestive, exactly the sort of puzzle that fans love to solve with 1,000 theories. Why keep it all under wraps? There are plenty of rational explanations. The production might want to control the rollout and reveal the full scope only when contracts are ironclad. It could be that Barış wants to be absolutely certain of the direction before putting his name to any official announcement. Or perhaps his behind-the-scenes role is still being defined, especially if he's weighing directing an episode or stepping in as executive producer under a newly formed content banner. No matter the reason, the secrecy has added an extra shimmer to the rumor, making every new detail feel like a breadcrumb leading somewhere thrilling. What would this mean for the series if it's true? Start with the obvious: Barış has a deep rapport with audiences. If his influence extends to the story's bones, he might craft a world that plays to both his strengths and Yağmur's formidable range. He knows how to calibrate vulnerability and intensity in a scene, and if he's part of building the scaffolding, motivations, backstories, the rhythm of emotional peaks, it could give their characters room to breathe and ignite. And for Yağmur, working alongside him in this expanded dynamic could become a masterclass in collaboration. She's known for discipline, for precision with the smallest gestures, and for finding subtext that others miss. If they're unified in front of and behind the camera, that synergy could translate into lightning in a bottle moments. We can't skip the fan angle, because it's a huge part of this unfolding saga. The possibility of Yağmur and Barış returning together has fans wide awake at midnight, trading screenshots and microanalyzing the way he held that folder, or which cafe they chose for that meeting. Add the notion that he's not just starring, but steering, and the anticipation leaps. The emotional investment people have in this duo is real, and it shows in the volume of edits and tributes exploding across platforms. The comments are full of wish lists, more mature storytelling, more risks, something that honors what they've done before while opening new doors. But, and this is crucial, we need to recognize that we're still standing in rumor country. The evidence is compelling, the sources feel closer to the flame than usual, but official statements have not landed. In situations like this, patience is a virtue, and timing is everything. Productions are complicated ecosystems, and announcements can hinge on tiny details in contracts or schedules. Still, when the clues keep stacking, it's hard not to let hope take flight. So what kind of series could be taking shape if these rumors are right? Some predict a romantic drama threaded with sharp humor, grown up in tone and confident in pace. Others whisper about pushing into suspense, the kind of love story that accelerates toward danger and forces two people to choose each other again and again in difficult circumstances. There's also talk of a multi-perspective narrative, where episodes pivot around different points of view, or a structure that plays with time, revealing crucial moments out of order to deepen the emotional impact. And if Barış is indeed guiding the creative, we might see an emphasis on character nuance and a willingness to linger on unspoken beats: the glance before the confession, the silence that says everything after a confrontation. A few industry watchers have proposed a more ambitious theory, that Barış is preparing to unveil a small but focused creative label, one designed to nurture projects where he can influence both the storytelling and the production culture. If he's bringing that to the table here, call it a hybrid of executive producing and creative supervision, it would signal a new chapter in his career. It would also suggest that he and Yağmur aren't simply reuniting for nostalgia's sake, but stepping into a space where they can shape the stories told about love, ambition, and resilience on their own terms. That prospect alone is enough to make observers sit up straight. Meanwhile, the social media puzzle keeps morphing. A costume designer who worked with Yağmur last year posted a photo of color palettes and fabrics with the caption that hinted at a modern heroine with an unexpected edge. A production coordinator known for airtight NDAs liked a thread discussing an unnamed pair reuniting amidst a top-secret creative shift. None of it is confirmation, but taken together, it paints a picture. When people with real connections begin leaving crumbs, it's rarely by accident. Sometimes it's strategy, a soft launch of anticipation. Sometimes it's just the excitement of being part of something that feels significant. For the actors themselves, a move like this could be as meaningful personally as it is professionally. If Barış is stretching beyond acting, he's showing the kind of range the industry rewards over the long term. And for Yağmur, standing in the center of a story shaped with such intentionality could be electrifying, a chance to explore corners of her talent under the gaze of someone who understands her rhythm instinctively. Their on-screen electricity has never been in doubt. The tantalizing question is what happens when that electricity is wired into the blueprint of the story itself. Of course, the risk of overhyping exists. If the project turns out to be more traditional, some might feel deflated after weeks of building castles in the sky. That's the other side of rumor season. The collective imagination can outrun reality. But even if the final picture is simpler than the most extravagant theories, the possibility that Barış has taken a step into authorship, whether as a guiding voice in the script, an occasional director, or an executive producer, would still be a landmark. And if their reunion happens in any form, it will be met with curiosity, celebration, and a surge of ratings. Let's also consider why these two, specifically, spark such an intense response. Part of it is their professionalism and the grace with which they navigate public attention. Part is the way their performances echo real emotional textures: messy, tender, stubborn, brave. They make people feel seen. Put that in a story crafted with care, and you have the recipe for scenes that leave viewers stunned into silence, or wiping away tears, or hitting replay to savor a look or a line that lands just right. To pull the threads together, the mystery around Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel's potential new series centers on the idea that his participation might extend beyond starring opposite her. The strongest whispers point to roles like creative collaborator, script contributor, episode director, investor, or executive producer, positions that would allow him to shape the project's voice. The paparazzi snapshots of meetings, the coy posts from writers and crew, and the palpable online eagerness have formed a cloud of expectation that keeps growing. There's no official confirmation yet, but the volume and consistency of the hints make it hard to ignore. If true, we could be witnessing the first step in a partnership that redefines how these two work on screen and off. So here's where you come in. What do you believe the secret really is? Do you see Barış stepping behind the camera and guiding the narrative's pulse? If he does, what sort of story would you want to see him and Yağmur bring to life? An aching romance with bright, sly humor, a moody thriller about love under pressure, or something genre-bending that refuses to be labeled? Tell me your best theories, your wildest hopes, and the moments you're craving to see. Is it a reunion kiss that feels earned after episodes of tension? Is it a scene where they fight for each other against impossible odds? Paint the picture with me in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into what might be the next big chapter for these two, show some love with a like. Share this with every friend who can't stop talking about Barış and Yağmur. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when this secret finally cracks open. Thank you, truly, for spending this time with me, for your support, and for the energy you bring to this community. I'll be right here watching the feeds, following the leads, and gathering the details. Until the next video, more whispers, more theories, and more heart-stopping entertainment are on the way. See you soon.